If we could please have everyone remain standing. All adults, take off your hats, put your hands over your hearts. Military or veterans, if you can salute as we invite Travis Air Force Base Honor Guard for a presentation of colors and invite Miss Deanna Hearn up to the podium to then sing our national anthem.
Oh, oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Juan Barajas, can you please come and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you for standing. Please be seated. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming and joining us for today's celebration of academic achievement for Sem Yeto High School's class of 2023. At this time, I would like to take a moment to welcome our special guests who have come to join us in our celebration. Superintendent Chris Corey, Board President David C. Isom, Board Clerk Helen Tilley, Board Member Jack Flynn, Board Member Judy Honeychurch, and the many staff members of the Central Office. Don't they look good? At this time, please join me in taking another moment to recognize two more influential groups of people who had a direct positive impact on this graduation ceremony. First, I would like to recognize the Sem Yeto staff, teachers and support staff, for their dedication and support in helping the graduates you see here before us tonight. If you are a Sem Yeto member, staff member, please stand. Thank you. Secondly, I would like to recognize all the parents and guardians for their support and dedication in helping the graduates before us. If you are a parent or a guardian, family member of one of the graduates and are able to, please, you stand. To all of you, sincerely, thank you. Thank you. I would like to invite at this time Sem Yeto at Fairfield High School teacher Jeff Scott to the podium to say a few words to our graduates.
Hello, hello. To Principal Hightower, Assistant Principal Toy, Superintendent Corey, and other distinguished guests that are present, and ultimately to you, class of 2023. They say that once you learn to ride a bike, you never lose that skill. My 4-year-old son and 5-year-old daughter love to play in the backyard together. Something they love doing back there is riding their bikes in circles. Very simple life. They both had training wheels until I started to notice my daughter getting real comfortable riding around, handling the bike well, and getting a good amount of speed going. And I decided it was time for her to graduate. Without much word, I asked her to get off the bike and began taking the training wheels off. As I was removing them, of course, she asked what I was doing. And as I explained what was happening, her eyes began to light up. After that, I began to help her practice for a few days in the backyard, going back and forth, giving her pushes, and keeping her steady. But soon after, she reached a point where the backyard wasn't big enough anymore. I decided to take her out front where there was more room. So we went out front. She put her cat helmet on. She got on the bike. I stood behind her like I was used to doing, supporting her back and shoulder, giving her a push as I usually did. And she started pedaling. And with the practice she had in the backyard, she pretty much instantly was able to keep her balance after I gave her a push start. She didn't, however, have the hang of getting herself started yet. So after a while of practice that day, we went inside, and a day or so later, her and her brother were playing in the backyard again, like they usually do. And meanwhile, I'm just in the room when all of a sudden, she came in looking very teary-eyed. I asked her what the deal was, and she said she wanted to put her training wheels back on so she could ride around more easily with her little brother like she used to do. Part of me wanted to go to the backyard and pop the wheels back on. I mean, it wouldn't have took no time at all. But after thinking it over, as hard as it was, I looked my teary-eyed five-year-old daughter in the face, and I told her no. I said to her, there's no going back. You're learning something new, and it's going to be hard at first, but as you keep moving forward, it'll get better. I explained to her, just like her baby sister who started walking many months ago, when she first started walking, she was really bad at it. But today, her little sister is just about running. She had some falls along the way, but she's been continually getting better at it. In the same way, class of 2023, the training wheels have been off for a while, and you've been getting your balance up in life. Up to this point, your teachers, counselors, admin, parents, family, and friends have been behind you, giving you the push to get you going. But now, you get to build your own momentum. Now, you get to step outside the gates into the real world. You get to use the strength that you've been developing to get your own wheels going. And there is no going back. There's only forward from here. When riding a bike on your own with no help, it's interesting how the first few pedals of a bike ride are the hardest. They take the most strength, just like taking the first steps in nearly any new endeavor. Just like building good habits that will help you be successful. But once you get going, the rest is a lot smoother. At this point, my daughter has gotten a hang of riding on her own, but there is still a lot for her to learn, a lot of experience to gain. Even though the moment when she rode on her own for the first time was exciting and monumental, it really was just the beginning. And there's still work for her to do. And as she continues practicing, whether she knows it or not, her little brother is all the more eager to get started himself watching her practice. In the same way, class of 2023, there's still work for all of you to do. Right now is a major moment. It should be celebrated, but there's still more to be done. This is just the beginning. And as you begin your next journey, never underestimate the power and influence of being consistent in working towards your goals and handling your business. You may be inspiring and motivating a stranger, a peer, a sibling to push themselves without even realizing it. Life can be full of falling for those who dare to allow themselves to try. Life can be full of bumps and bruises for those who challenge themselves to step outside of their comfort zones. 5, 10, even 15 years from now, I want you to be able to look back on this accomplishment as a marker of a time where you had the opportunity to grow out of failure. I imagine it for many of you, finding out that you needed to come to Sem Yeto felt like an L, like failure, like disappointment. I want you to be able to look back on this moment and be reminded that failure was not finding out that you had to come here. Failure would have been calling that the end. I see no failures here today. I see a group of young people who turn what could have been a failure into not only success, but a monument to look back on, to be reminded of what you do when you fall. You get back up. Endurance isn't as permanent as learning to ride a bike. But the more you develop endurance, the more normal it becomes. Also, the more you overcome challenges and setbacks, the more reminders you have for yourself that doing the next big thing is possible. So now when you leave this place and go out into the real world and work and learn and win and lose and learn and fall and grow and get back up again, know that it's all part of the process. Keep those pedals moving, find your balance, embrace the process, falls and all. Move forward. Congratulations, class of 2023.
At this time, I'd like to invite Sem Yeto Armio High School teacher, Dean Shree, to say a few words to our graduates.
All right, it's 6 p.m., so I don't know if this applies, but good morning, Sem Yeto! All right, so coming from the toil of the hard year's work and pausing a moment from the earning of our daily bread, I ask the privilege of a hearing from my fellow Yetis. We go by many different names in many different cultures: Sasquatch, Bigfoot, Gigantopithecus, and Yeti. But why Yetis? I'll tell you. 1, the Yeti is feared because it is strong and powerful. Gigantopithecus, a genus of massive simians whose fossils have been found throughout China, India, and Vietnam, these guys made silverback gorillas quake in fear. They weighed an average estimated pounds of 1,100 pounds and could stand 9 feet tall. You are Yetis. 2, the Yeti is a survivor, unequaled in grit and determination. In 1958, American and Soviet teams both embarked on an organized hunt for the Yeti. They didn't find any because the Yeti didn't want to be found. You also have overcome some serious obstacles. We all know that if we brought each one up here to tell their stories, there wouldn't be a dry eyes in the house. 3, the Yeti is mostly misunderstood. The Yeti is a figure of danger. Stories are told to children. The moral is often a warning of the danger of the wild Yeti and to stay close and safe within the community. You were warned by parents, teachers, counselors, you don't want to go to Yeto. But although some say the Yeti is a mythical and dangerous creature, those are the same stigmas and stereotypes that Sem Yeto students face every day. The truth is, Yetis just need a community that understands, empowers, and believes in them. And that is Sem Yeto. We believe in you. Sometimes even when you didn't believe in yourself. But a little reflection. It's less than 500 words, I promise. Some things we read, and you'll remember. Malcolm X reflected upon the new vistas that reading opened to him and said, "Reading changed forever the course of my life. As I see it today, the ability to read awoke inside of me some long dormant craving to be mentally alive. I hope that Sem Yeto has done the same for you. We want you educated because the United States will destroy ignorance or ignorance will destroy the United States." That was W.B. Du Bois. Frederick Douglass wrote, "Education and slavery are incompatible. We want you to be free. Education is the development of power and ideal. We believe in work, hard work. We ourselves are workers, but work is not necessarily education." As Frederick Douglass called it, you need that more valuable bread of knowledge. We believe that just as much as anyone, you have the right and ability to know, to think, to aspire. Looking forward, some advice that you've read, that you've heard, that I want you to take forward with you. In the words of Cesar Chavez, this was on the midterm, so some of you might not remember. "The struggle will not be easy. And when we are really honest with ourselves, we must admit that our lives are all that really belong to us. So it is how we live our lives that determines what kind of person we are. It is my deepest belief that only by giving our lives do we find life. Ask those family members over there in the stands who sacrifice so much. I am convinced that the truest act of courage, the strongest act of bravery, is to sacrifice ourselves for others in a totally nonviolent struggle for justice and opportunity to suffer for others. So as you go out there and you find your way, remember, it's not you and you're not alone. Yetis belong in a community." Some last and final words, I promise. A failure to plan is a plan to fail. So make a plan. You can always change it, but have a plan. Any child can cry and fret, but it requires a full-grown person to create and construct. So be fully grown. That was Booker T. Washington. And when it gets hard and the obstacles look unsurmountable and you don't know how you're going to make it over that next hill, that next mountain, you don't see a way forward, cast down your bucket where you are. That means get to work in the place where you are standing. Don't go try running over to Tinty's room. I don't care if you do it. What I care is that you learn it. So your education is not done, and you never let school get in the way of your education anyway. Remember, if you work hard, it's easy. It's only hard if you take it easy. Just remember freshman year. And finally, going forward, if you do nothing, you will get nothing, and you will become nothing. But that's not you. You're going to go out there, you're going to do something, you're going to get something, and you're going to become something. Congratulations, class of 2023.
Now it's time for your student speaker, Ms. Bria Posey. Can you please make your way to the podium?
Yeah. Hi, welcome. My name is Bria Posey, if you didn't know, but most people now know me as Bree. I just want to share a few words and tell my story. I just want to acknowledge that we all come from different backgrounds. We all have different stories to tell. I will never fully understand each and every one of your stories, but they're each valuable in their own way. We all know COVID changed the world. We heard it time and time and time again, and we had to put everything that we had, every goals, every plan, we had to put them on pause. Personally, I went from being a student at the early college program to barely passing any of my classes. It was really hard for me for a long time because I didn't think I'd be able to bounce back. I received the opportunity to come here to Sem Yeto, and I had my superstitions. I had my own opinion of how it would be like to attend, but little did I know that it would change the way I think and perceive myself and others. Attending this school has taught me that every student, regardless of their background, deserves an opportunity to have teachers and staff that truly want to see them succeed. And I know I already sound cliche. I sound like every teacher you guys have already had. But just know, if we're graduating here today, how far we can continue to go. And school isn't for everybody. You don't have to, I'm not gonna say, hey, keep going. You must keep going. But if you've come here, you can take the next step. You could go to college at a private four-year or even just community college. Go straight in the workforce and make money. Who doesn't like to make money? Those of us here today are a portion of the future, and we have the talents to be able to change the world around us. If you don't like the way a school is taught, use your voice and change it. You've been through the school system. You understand what needs to change. It's not gonna change, and we're gonna keep repeating history over and over and over again. Time is of the essence. Use it. We don't have much time. We can't gain back the time that we lost, but we can make a name for ourselves that when other people hear it, they know that you've done good. They know that you tried, and your background therefore means nothing to anybody else because you've continued to work and change and grow and learn continuously. I would like to thank Mr. Hightower as well as my grandparents and my mom and the rest of my family for the support that they given me over these past couple of years. I not only learn and grow, but I make a name for myself and the others around me. Most importantly, recognize your own efforts. You could only get here because you wanted to get here. You put in the work and you deserve it. What is taking place here today is not because of the staff, but it was because of you and me at the end of the day. And we made it this far. We did it.
Wow. Sem Yeto graduating class of 2023. When I look out on all of you, the first thing that comes to my mind is, man, what a year it was been. There were so many ups and downs this year that I cannot figure out sometimes if we were all coming or going. The more I reflected on this, though, the more I thought, sometimes this is life providing us with just another bumpy ride. And you must learn how to enjoy the ride, because this thing called life has many ups and downs, many levels. And no matter what level you start on, if you fight through the ups and downs, most importantly, if you fight through the downs, you will find success. The fight is what I love about you, Sem Yeto graduates of 2023. You see, you all found out about the ups and downs real quick over the past few years. Your high school career started off in isolation during a pandemic. Your first experience in high school, a time to be up, started with an uncertainty that no one had ever faced in our lifetime before in education. This turned the start of what should have been your most exciting time, your up, into a time of having to rethink what high school experience was supposed to be, something you had no idea was awaiting you at this important phase of your life, and something none of you or your support system, us, were prepared to handle. It was a down. However, you all found a way to grind it out, to persevere. And because of that perseverance, you all are ready to move on up. Just like the Jeffersons. You guys don't know that, but some of the mature folks understand that one. Perseverance and hard work doesn't always look pretty, but don't mistake the ugliness of perseverance for a lack of worth. Perseverance is often a result of having gone through some failures, trials, tragedies, obstacles, tears, and oftentimes fears as well. But the character that perseverance has instilled, established, and every one of you has made you all very valuable commodities to our present and to our future. Perseverance has forged in you what I like to refer as the able to overcome trait, a trait that enables you to overcome in spite of obstacles, any obstacles you have faced and may face in the future. So class of 2023, I have a few directives for you as you begin this new and exciting chapter in your lives. As a Sem Yeto graduate, always hold your heads high, because you are all success stories, present and future. Know your worth, because you are all amazing, capable, and valuable. And never forget where you came from, but always give back. Give back by sharing your stories, encouraging others, young and old, that they too can persevere and assist others with the building of roadmaps to success, because you have the experience from building them before. Congratulations, Sem Yeto class of 2023. You are valuable. You are needed. Recognize your worth. Are you all ready? We will now begin our presentation of the graduates. First row of Sem Yeto graduates, please stand. Oh, look at that. Ms. Artiega, please come to the podium and present your row of graduates.
Jenna Abukanam. Brian Alarcón González. Eduardo Alfaro León. Barra. Sione Atutatasi. Sorry. Atuatasi. Sorry. Zenaida Avila. I butchered it. Juan Carlos Barajas. Camila Barrera Quintana. Ryan Buter. Isabel Botello. Pablo Bradford. Joseph Branchcombe. Kaden Brown. Mari Burr McConnor. Ricardo Cariaga III.
Congratulations.
Mrs. Craig, please, and come to the podium and present your row of graduates.
Andrés Castillo Flores. Giselle Cedeño. Lucero Cervantes. Martín Chávez Murguía. Nicholas Church. Kevin Cigarroa Guerrero. Mackay Cooper. Eva Adelaida Cortez. Haley Costa Gordon. Jimena Cruz Núñez. Moira Cuison. Mariah Curry. Eliana de los Santos. Ariana Jean Inez de Fer. Mark Russell de la Cruz. Jessica de Jesus. Carvin Dotson. Kaylani English. Mario Escamilla Gutierrez.
Mr. Seeper, please come and present your row of graduates. Do you have your list? You have your list? Okay. Yes, good luck, good luck.
All right. Emily Esperanza. Marabella Florentino Alvarez. Cassandra Flores. Stephanie Flores Alde. John Carlos Freeman. Melanie Gallo. Estefani Garcia. Maria Garcia Carvajal. Alexia Garibay. John Garibay. Brandon Gonzalez Moya. DeAndre Gowans. Kaylani Greer. Jonathan Gutierrez Cordova. Jose Gutierrez Jr. Genesis Hernandez Reyna. Chase Holder. Take a picture. Wesley Inks. And Xaviana Jenkins.
Mr. Gibson, please come to the podium and present your row of graduates.
Brittany K. Ella Long. Kelvin Magana Aviles. Victoria Lynn Alardo Martinez. Yesenia Martinez Perez. Maria Mathis. Ibrahim Mohammed. Christian Mondragon. Michelle Mora Cermeno. Angelina Moreno. Jacob Mungare. Danica Myers. Raul Ocampo Torres. Alexander Ortiz. Bree Paget. Montserrat Palmas Ayala. Davion Payton. Eduardo Pelayo Sanchez. Zakira Peterson. Bria Posey.
Mr. Brown, please come to the podium and present your row of graduates.
Daira Ramirez Ponce. Ashley Ramos Berber. Carlos Ramos Morguia. Jamel Robinson. Ernesto Rodriguez. Hugo Rodriguez Gerbe. Jose Romero Velares. Kevin Ronda. Aaron Rosales Sosa. Michelle Scrivener. Cheyenne Silva. Andre Stevenson. Demaje Summers. Talia Till. Emily Urbina. Rollo Vang. Victoria Valesco. Aiden Whitley Som.
Last row, you could just remain standing. And we're going to ask the class of 2023, the rest of you, to please stand. You guys ready? Superintendent Chris Corey, Board President David Isom, Governing Board members, distinguished faculty and staff, family and friends, I certify that all of the students standing before you today have met the graduation requirements of the state of California and the Fairfield-Suisun Unified School District. Congratulations, class of 2023 and future graduating college class of 2027. You are now a graduate of Sem Yeto High School. Graduates, please move your tassel from the right to the left.
Hush now, child, and don't cry. Your folks might understand you by and by. Just move on up toward your destination. Though you may find from time to time complications. Bite your lip and take the trip. Though there may be wet road ahead and you cannot slip, just move on up. For peace you'll find into the steeple of beautiful people where there's only one kind. So hush now, child, and don't cry. Your folks might understand you by and by. Move on up and keep on wishing. Remember your dream is your only scheme, so keep on pushing. Take nothing less than the supreme best. Do not obey rumors people say, but you can pass the test. Just move on up to a greater day. With just a little faith, if you put your mind to it, you can surely do it. Just move on up. Move on up. But move on up. Watch out, but just move on up.